The Chernobyl Exclusion Zone is a place where time seems to have stood still. Almost 4 decades have passed since the disaster, but its consequences still hang like a heavy cloud over this region. Within this eerie and radioactive wasteland, something remarkable has caught the attention of scientists. Even with high levels of radiation, nature has not only refused to give in, but has adapted, creating new forms of life. While most plants and animals would have avoided such harsh conditions, certain plants, like defiant heroes, have sprouted through the toxic soil. Their existence is an astonishing mystery that captivates the minds of researchers. This place, it would seem, should be devoid of life. And yet, to the scientists' surprise, there are species here previously unknown to science. These mysterious plants not only grow, they thrive in the inhospitable environment. Their foliage emits a strange shade of green, and their stems are strong and resilient, as if they were specifically designed to withstand radiation. Every leaf and every shoot of these plants is a kind of mystery, enticing researchers to uncover its secrets. The scientists working in the zone resemble treasure hunters, wandering among the ruins in search of the truth. They know that what lies before them is not just an anomaly, but a clue from nature itself, one that can reveal much about its capacity for survival. These plants did not appear out of nowhere. They have opened up a new layer of study for scientists, promising to lift the veil on the incredible mechanisms of defense and adaptation in living organisms. Against this mysterious backdrop, even more intriguing questions that are only just beginning to take shape in the minds of researchers. How did these plants not only manage to survive, but also to develop in conditions that seem completely hostile to life? A secret group of scientists, like ghosts of science, gained access to the Chernobyl Exclusion Zone. These researchers, hidden from the public eye, worked in strict secrecy, as the discovery they made could overturn our understanding of life under the influence of radiation. The group consisted of botanists, biochemists, and geneticists, each with years of experience studying plants in extreme conditions. But even the experience of these specialists had not prepared them for what they would discover. When they first saw the vegetation, none of them could hide their amazement. These plants looked absolutely unique. Their structure was unlike anything they had seen before. The leaves were not damaged by radiation as expected. On the contrary, they seemed even stronger and more vibrant with life energy. This discovery became a true scientific breakthrough. Every centimeter of the plants was carefully photographed and studied. Their biochemical indicators were recorded, and samples were sent to laboratories for deeper analysis. The researchers quickly realized that they were dealing with a phenomenon that could change our understanding of biological adaptation. These plants not only survived, they adapted and thrived in radioactive conditions. Analysis showed that their DNA and cell structure had changed, allowing them to use radiation as an additional energy source. This information could provide the key to discovering new ways to protect against radiation, as well as to the intelligent use of radioactive zones for the survival and development of flora. But what are the true reasons for the appearance of these plants? And is there a human factor involved, or did nature itself find a way to survive? Moving on to the question of how these plants managed to adapt to such extreme conditions, it is worth noting that scientists consider 2 main hypotheses: evolution and mutations. First and foremost, the adaptation of these plants could be the result of an evolutionary process. In a relatively short period of time, they not only managed to survive but also to develop, using radiation as a stimulus for growth. At the same time, it was discovered that some biological mechanisms, previously unseen in other plants, turned out to be key to their adaptation. However, the hypothesis of mutation caused by the impact of radiation on their cells and DNA cannot be ruled out either. The analysis conducted revealed that the genetic structure of these plants differs significantly from known species. As it turned out, their unique ability to use radiation as an energy source suggests the presence of specific mutations that allow their cells to adapt to the radiation background. Such mutations may play a key role in protecting against destructive effects, and may even contribute to the synthesis of new organic compounds that have not been observed before. Scientists also noticed that radiation can act as a catalyst, accelerating adaptation processes and beneficial mutations. These discoveries highlight the importance of continuing research, as these phenomena could form the basis for new scientific developments in biology and biotechnology. The question of whether this process is entirely natural or if humans have somehow intervened remains open. Further research may shed light on this mysterious process, which is changing our understanding of life in radioactive conditions. Confronted with this astonishing phenomenon, scientists encountered plants that seemed to challenge modern scientific concepts. They discovered that these remarkable organisms not only survive under radioactive exposure, but also display something incredible: the ability to actively mutate and adapt at the most fundamental level. Each plant became a kind of open-air laboratory, giving scientists a unique opportunity to study processes that were previously thought impossible. Researchers soon noticed that these plants possessed a number of unique properties. Unlike their normal counterparts, their cells contained a higher amount of pigments that protect against radioactive particles. In addition, new chemical compounds previously unknown to science were discovered in their tissues. These compounds may have acted as biological shields, actively counteracting radiation and allowing the plants to efficiently use this energy for metabolism. Though they appear ordinary, in reality they use radiation as a source of nourishment. This is a mystery that scientists have never encountered before. It has been observed that under increased radiation, the growth rates of some species even accelerate. They raise questions about a possible connection with the world of microorganisms, which may live in symbiosis with these plants, helping them extract and absorb energy from the contaminated environment. Every day spent in Chernobyl brought new discoveries. Unique changes in the DNA of these plants have been identified, allowing them not only to resist radiation but also to actively use it for a closed nutrient cycle. This discovery made scientists consider the possibilities of applying such knowledge in other areas of biotechnology. However, questions remain. How far does this adaptation extend? And what does it mean for other forms of life? Ahead, new mysteries awaited the researchers, mysteries that could reveal the true reasons behind such an unusual adaptation, perhaps shedding light on human intervention or unique natural conditions that contributed to this incredible phenomenon. As soon as the scientists tried to unravel the secret of these remarkable plants, another mystery presented itself. Various hypotheses began to form in the minds of the researchers. One of these was the remarkable ability of the plants to adapt, suggesting the presence of special biochemical mechanisms previously unknown to science. These mechanisms might allow the plants not only to survive, but to thrive, using radiation as a force that fuels their growth. However, the study of samples in the laboratory soon led to even more intriguing discoveries. It became clear that the unique structure of the cells raised many questions about possible intervention by science or nature. During the analyses, an unusual protein complex was discovered, which likely gave the plants the ability to regenerate damaged cells at an incredible speed. Findings like these were perplexing and called for deeper investigation. Additional mysteries arose from tests on the interaction of the plants with microorganisms in the soil. It was found that the unique symbiosis between them could play a crucial role in their ability to adapt. Microbes living in the root system may help the plants absorb radioactive elements, turning them into a source of energy. This interaction became another piece of the puzzle that required careful study. As scientists delved deeper into this mystery, one question remained to be answered. Could these adaptations be part of a broader evolutionary process, or were they triggered by artificial intervention? Answers to these questions could reveal not only the secret of how plants survive in such extreme conditions, but also shed light on the potential for using similar mechanisms in the future. New research awaited the scientists, and each new step could lead to even more astonishing discoveries in this mysterious and unpredictable field. While studying these unusual plants, scientists began to notice alarming signs of possible human intervention. This discovery came as a surprise to the researchers, who had expected to observe only natural processes. The data indicated that the plants were exhibiting signs of modification not typical of natural evolution. Their DNA contained elements not found in the wild, which could be the result of genetic experiments or chemical exposure. The researchers took note of the presence of certain chemical compounds in the soil that could explain such changes. These compounds may have entered the exclusion zone as a result of human activity. The question of who and why someone would conduct such experiments in such dangerous conditions remained unanswered. But the fact remains that traces of human activity were unmistakable. In parallel with this discovery, scientists found that certain plants exhibited an unusually high level of resistance to radiation, which could not be explained by natural adaptation alone. These plants were, quite literally, trying to extract the maximum benefit from radiation, which suggested the possibility of deliberate genetic modification. In this context, the theory was also considered that possible experiments had been conducted during the Cold War era, when various countries were actively studying the effects of radiation on living organisms. Against the backdrop of such discoveries, researchers began to suspect the possible influence of secret projects aimed at studying survival in extreme conditions or attempts to create especially resilient organisms for use in other purposes. But so far, no documents or other direct evidence pointing to specific actions have been found. This new mystery required a deeper investigation to set the record straight and understand what role these plants play in the sequence of global scientific experiments and discoveries. When scientists first encountered the unusual vegetation in Chernobyl, their expectations were drastically different from reality. Instead of stunted and radiation-damaged plants, they found thriving species capable of surprising even the most experienced researchers. It is important to note that nature here demonstrated its incredible strength and ability to adapt to extreme conditions that would seem unimaginable for life. What especially amazed scientists was the fact that these plants not only survived, but also actively grew, showing extraordinary resilience to radiation. Researchers discovered that their roots penetrated deep into the contaminated soil, extracting nutrients from its depths. This allowed the plants not only to cope with radiation, but also to turn it into a kind of resource that contributed to their growth and development. The study of the plants also revealed unique biochemical mechanisms that helped them adapt to the radioactive environment. For example, it turned out that their tissues contained a complex set of antioxidants and other compounds capable of neutralizing radiation damage. This discovery was a real breakthrough and sparked a wave of interest in the potential use of such mechanisms in medicine and other fields. Every step taken by the scientists revealed increasingly complex mysteries. It turned out that some plants had developed unique forms of symbiosis with microorganisms living in the soil. These microbes may help the plants process radioactive elements, making them suitable for use as an energy source. Such interactions created a new ecosystem that needed to be studied in order to understand how such complex systems function under extreme conditions. These astonishing discoveries were only the beginning for further research, which could shed light on the hidden capabilities of nature and perhaps offer new ways to solve environmental problems in the future. However, the question remains, what actually served as the catalyst for such remarkable adaptations, nature itself or human intervention? In light of all these discoveries, scientists are asking whether it is possible that these remarkable plants signal the beginning of nature's recovery after a global catastrophe. Or is it merely an illusion brought about by random mutations and human experiments? The scientific community is delving into the study of the potential consequences that such extraordinary adaptations may have for the future. First of all, these plants are not just examples of survival, but perhaps also the key to restoration. If nature has managed to find a way to adapt even in such harsh conditions, this could form the basis for developing new strategies to restore affected areas. Moreover, the discovery of such plants gives hope that the diversity of life is capable of recovering, even in the face of the most severe upheavals. Perhaps one day this knowledge will help humanity develop methods for reclaiming polluted areas and improving ecosystems' ability to adapt to environmental changes. However, we must not forget to exercise caution. After all, if human intervention really did play a role in the creation of these unique organisms, then the ethical aspect of such experiments comes into question. What kind of consequences could careless or deliberate genetic modification of organisms cause? One way or another, the plants that have been discovered are already forcing scientists to reconsider previous views on evolution and mutation. This unknown world of plants, where radiation has become an ally, remains mysterious and alluring. There are still many questions ahead that need to be answered, and perhaps further research will allow us to answer one of the most important among them. Can nature truly recover completely after such devastating events? Or is this just a fleeting illusion, concealing more complex processes taking place at a deeper level? In any case, all that remains is to keep moving forward and searching for answers, as long as the mysteries of this remarkable place remain unsolved.